this is Tracy Swedlow, and welcome to Televisionation. I'm really happy that you are all here. We're just getting started again post-TVOT, and I'm really thrilled to have two gentlemen who represent a couple of companies doing business together. And they are Jon Niermann, who is the CEO of a company called Loop, that is spelled L-O-O-P, and Chris Thun, who is the VP of Product at TiVo, which is now, of course, owned by Xperi. Xperi. Thanks so much. Thanks for being here, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You.
So the reason I think that we either reached out to you or maybe it was sort of vice versa, I was definitely very curious about this new deal. There's obviously a lot of work going on in the OTT space to build libraries, to build capability, to make things more differentiated, I would say, in the streaming market. So I'm definitely very interested in, how this deal took place, who reached out to whom, and what the benefits are for TiVo. I will say that, another personal anecdote for me, which you've heard some already this morning, is that we sometimes will try to watch TV around here, with my daughter, and immediately she will pull up her music videos, her karaoke, her whatever it is. And I think the kids definitely love music, and I know that's what this deal is about. So please tell me a little bit more about how did the deal initiate, but maybe a little bit about Loop first, because I know we all know that TiVo is been in this business since early 2000, I think, roughly. Chris, would you say?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. John, why don't you go first and describe the background on the Loop side?
So it's funny, this is a classic CES matchup where we ran into the TiVo folks last year when you could actually meet in person at CES. And they had this amazing booth, and we're this small company going around peddling music videos. And it's like, oh my God, we're talking to TiVo and they're huge. But it was great. We met Scott and the team and started talking. And this really was our first deal that we were putting together for a linear channel. By way of background, Loop started in 2016. We've got one of the largest music video libraries that exists. We primarily started providing music videos to businesses, anything as small as a pub to as large as a university. And then we decided we wanted to get in the consumer side. And this really was our first deal that we had done with the channels that we're streaming on TiVo.
And you guys are based where?
We're based in Glendale, California. Beautiful Glendale, right down here in LA.
Okay, great. So it's sort of the heart of pop culture America, where music gets made down there. And but how did Loop decide to move into the movie or the music video business? That's how you started, or did you start peddling video game trailers? Because I know that you do that as well. How did you get started?
Good question. So we started this company with the acquisition, actually, of a company called Screenplay Entertainment. They've been around for 30 years. They provided movie trailers first to the old Blockbuster stores. So you actually will walk into video rental and see that trailer playing above the counter. That's how they started their business. So they accumulated this huge library of movie trailers. And then they started getting video game trailers and TV trailers, everything that could be rented. And then in 2000, they bought the music video library for a company called Muzak, which you may know for kind of the elevator music company, which it was just kind of sitting there. And at that stage, they wanted to do kind of a current generation MTV. That was the original vision, because as we know, MTV just turned into reality shows. And they sat on it because technology wasn't there yet. So we started talking to them. I came from a corporate career at Disney and Electronic Arts, and we just had a chance meeting in a studio here in LA and started talking about what they wanted to do with their business. And we decided that we wanted to get into that business and expand it beyond B2B to consumers. And that's kind of how it all started.
And so, Chris, you guys are obviously meeting at CES, and, what was the advantage here? You've got this company that's got, thousands of music videos and video game trailers, and, TiVo was known for offering, a cornucopia of content, but why strengthen your offerings in this way?
Yeah, it's a fair question. And let me back up a bit and give you the context of kind of where we're headed,
Mhm.
and what we're trying to accomplish before getting to where Loop fits in. And if you think about what TiVo is, at our core, we're about empowering consumer choice and control over how and where you consume your entertainment. And so several years back, as we were helping operators around the world make the transition to an IP world, we were one of the market leaders in bringing together pay TV and streaming services into the same experience. Well, fast forward to today, and what choice and control means beyond streaming is giving people the ability to select free ad-supported content where they see fit. And so we're investing really heavily in bringing AVOD, ad-supported VOD, and linear content into the experience, to give consumers more control in terms of the types of content that they can consume within the TiVo experience. And so Loop, as we looked at the landscape and saw the engagement, surveyed our users in terms of what category of content were interesting and desired by our users, music videos in particular, popped to the top, right up there with news and sports content from a genre perspective.
Mhm.
And so Loop being a leader within that vertical, this deal is a no-brainer from our perspective.
I mean, well, I would almost say, is this the beginning of something larger between the two? Do you see Xperi merging, buying, acquiring Loop? I mean, maybe I'm jumping the gun here a little bit, but
Yeah, Chris, do you see experience
I know that's not his purview necessarily.
So that's a bit outside my purview. I decide what products we're going to build. But by all means, like we are investing heavily in this space. Now, whether M&A will be part of it, right now we're just trying to figure out the right product and the right content to engage our users, and evaluate the path forward from that perspective.
Tracy, I'm taking you on our road show. That's what I know. It'd be perfect for that. We're going to find a match made in heaven somewhere along the way.
That's what I do every day, all day. I think of who to hook people up with. I'm like the technology Yenta over here. You guys know
Perfect.
what a Yenta is.
I love it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Barbara Streisand, big fan. We've got all of her videos.
Yenta the match. Well, that's Fiddler on the Roof. Okay. Anyway. Oh yes, from Dolly.
Was it
Dolly,
Yentl?
the matchmaker.
Close.
No, Yentl was not a matchmaker. Dolly was the matchmaker.
Gotcha.
Okay. You got to know your Jewish movies out there, everybody. Okay, so well, let me ask you a question, which I have a feeling you're not going to give me the answer to, Chris. What kind of traction do you get for people watching music? Like how high in that, how many people out of all of the people who watch, that's not the right word, right to phrase it, but what are the statistics about how people watch music videos or music? Is it mostly, maybe, is it adults? Is it kids? I guess that's where I'm going. What's the age level?
So I'm not going to get into the demographics, but let me give you a quiz in return. So
Okay.
what we launched and what we've integrated so far in terms of our existing installed base of TiVo devices out there in the market, is basically 18 loop channels, linear channels, and 6 of them are genre based.
Mm-hmm.
6 of them are mood channels and 6 are chart channels, what's trending. And so my question to you is, of those 3, what do you think is most engaging?
I would say genre, because people are used to doing shopping that way. I think I'd like to say mood because it's more of experimental. There's so many companies that try to represent themselves as mood AI, personalization technology companies. So I'm always curious about how mood drives. I know what's the answer?
The answer is that the charts based are so far as a category the most engaging in terms of the channels we've released. Now so the top performer, the top performer is actually our 80s party channel.
Oh yeah.
Which I found surprising, which I shouldn't have though, in terms of music that engages at parties or otherwise.
I've got a 13-year-old here that likes to turn on, Spotify 80s.
Yeah.
So believe me, there's something, very, it was a happy time for a lot of people, except for politically, right? So I think that appeals to the kids right now who want, a fun dance music or something. There's all
Yeah.
these dance parties going on in people's homes, right? Okay.
True statement.
Through Zoom.
But going back to your original question, what we've seen since launch is it really confirmed the survey data and the engagement ecosystem wide that we saw in terms of music video content being, from a category perspective, one of the most engaging areas of content, in addition to major heavy hitters like news and sports.
Now, I mean, traditionally TiVo is, a company that showcases pre-made content, right? Or UGC content, or, things like this, but that's pre-produced. But I mean, there's such a large body of content that people are uploading all of the time. And I don't think that's the direction you're going in. But Loop, Jon, is that a direction that you guys might go in, where you might allow kids to upload, in other words, like a TikTok, like a Loop TikTok? I mean, is that an interesting direction for you, or is that out of the cards?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think it might be a natural progression. We started, and we still are, a pure premium music video service. So we want it to be kind of uncluttered. Really, the only other place that people go to watch music videos is YouTube. And to me, YouTube is a very cluttered experience. It's not well curated. It's not very customer friendly. You can't really share things. But 40% of YouTube views are music videos. 23 of the top 25 ever are music videos, which really gave us encouraged us to pursue this path, because you knew that there was great audience behind it. And kind of like Chris is saying, it's multi-genre in a sense, and it's also multi-demographic in terms of age groups and cultures and whoever watches music videos. It's funny, the 80s thing is, it's kind of when it all started, right? With MTV, it was the original short form content, and short form content's such a buzz thing right now, but that happened 40 years ago. And those would be just huge events with Michael Jackson or Madonna. And that's how you really got to know the artist. So kind of circling back to your question, art is such a great form, and so many people do it. We do want to support indie artists. We do want to support the up and coming artists. So I would think that there's something down the road that we'd eventually merge into. But right now we're really focused on that library of premium music videos to set us apart.
Any chance that you might move in the direction of?
I think another.
No, go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, another interesting, I think, point to what we're doing currently with Loop is the idea that it is linear channels and not VOD based. And in the explanation for why we're starting there is, if you look at the TV experience, it's a lean back experience. You're sitting on the couch, and there's something to be said for keeping it simple. And that's what linear channels do. And so we continue to see increasing engagement with all of the linear AVOD that we're launching, but especially the music video. But it's an important aspect of what we're doing.
And what about what I was just calling in my notes calling editorial guidance, or influencers, or people editorially helping direct kids towards what's interesting, what's exciting, maybe providing original programming there? Is that in the cards?
On our side? Potentially.
Yes.
I mean, potentially, we haven't done anything really in terms of what we are going to start doing is the original content, like countdown shows. And, we want the Loop brand to be out there in terms of the weekly kind of video countdown. So I think that's when you'll start to see influencers and people like that maybe get involved. But it probably will be through more of an interstitial type of format that you would see potentially on some of the channels if it fits well. But we really, like Chris was saying, this kind of, he put it well in terms of the lean back experience, where you could just turn it on and be entertained, and it's as simple as that. And it's just and we structured this in such a way where we kind of kept it fun, like the 70s is called Can You Dig It, and we put a little attitude behind it, and the country's Texas-sized hits, so it's we're trying to make it a little more fun with the themes as well. And hopefully when people watch it, they'll get that feeling.
Are you curating this, the channels in any way specific to TiVo's audience, or is this the same content that you also distribute to other places?
No, it's very collaborative with TiVo. I mean, if you haven't seen what TiVo offers, it's amazing. I mean, it really is, just in terms of their platform. You know, when it first came out, I ordered, like set it all up and took out one of my Fire Sticks, put in my TiVo, got that over. So, I could experience it, and it really is fantastic. And so for us, we always want to have something that's unique, with the platforms that we work with. TiVo will always be a great partner for us because, they're really our first big partner. So we're grateful to be working with them. We're happy that people are enjoying it. And, we always want to make sure it's fresh and something different. That's a good thing about it. We could curate, if Chris says, let's do something like this, or this, let's do something special. If it's something around the holidays, if it's something around the artist, we could always do something with those channels that really fits for what they want to do.
Hey, Chris, I'm still waiting for all types of interactivity on TiVo. Allowing kids to throw tomatoes, maybe they give thumbs up, maybe they have emotional reactions, maybe they can chat, maybe they can have video conferencing or something during these music videos. Your VP of product, what's happening there?
So we are focused more on the interactivity with different types of content than throwing tomatoes at the screen. I'll start there. But seriously, in terms of what we're seeing in the AVOD space, and if you look at the trends and why we continue to invest in this space, it's clear, like the highest growth in terms of video revenue is AVOD, both this year and headed into the future over the next 5 years. And so you look at that from a music video perspective, and it's very clear that we need to be there. Now, to your question, in terms of where we're going to head and whether we'll do editorial, and you put that question to Jon, but you're going to see us doing a lot of testing, A/B testing, and watching what happens over time in terms of engagement, and the conversation behind the scenes with Jon and team to evolve over the next 12 to 18 months to lean into the areas where we see traction, and pull back from areas where we don't see traction. That's what this space is all about. And we're going to get better and better at it over time.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, I watch all of these platforms, and there's very little area where people are being really innovative right now. Maybe in the design a little bit, maybe in discovery and some AI software they've put on. But I'm looking for that OTT platform that says, you know what, we're doing something different, and we're catering to an audience that wants interactivity or perhaps wants metadata, and figuring out ways to monetize that. So incremental subscriptions. I mean, I've been saying this till I'm blue in the face for a long time. So I'm just putting that out there that, maybe this would be a good place to experiment, since you have such a rabid audience, right? Interested. And
where we believe there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of the market and where it's headed, it goes back to that broader theme of empowering consumers. But if you look at the various streaming platforms out there, they don't give consumers a lot of control and a lot of help in figuring out what to subscribe to. You're kind of left on your own as a consumer in navigating whether you subscribe to Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon, and how you put together your own bundle. That is a pain point that we're big believers that TiVo can play a role in solving, and we'll be investing heavily in that over the next 6 to 12 months. You'll see a lot of noise from us on that front.
Okay, that sounds exciting. It would be great to see the platforms become like a content leaders, our editorial directors, of the content that's on their platform. I'd like to see definitely more of that, or give them, like you said, more control.
Yeah, I mean, in the key stat that we see out there in the marketplace that we as an organization are trained in on is, you look back in 2011, 2012, the average American household subscribed to just north of one video service. Fast forward to today, and it's almost 7 in terms of the average American household. So the need to bring it all together into a unified experience, and not push, if you're Google or Amazon, your own content on an end user, but to instead allow the consumer to choose how to put together their bundle. That's really the problem statement that we're headed into.
John, why are you not making all of this content though available like a Spotify, on the web?
Well, we are going to launch a consumer app. So we'll have a music video app. It's right here. Let me see. It'll be coming
Okay.
shortly.
All right, cool.
So, it does that type. Whoop, there we go. It does that type of thing.
Is that an independent offering, or is that with TiVo?
That's an
Is that branded as independent?
Yeah. So, I mean, Loops, our 3 prongs of business are the B2B, where we still have the exposure. It's a lot like Chris is saying, that we bring content into these public venues where they can kind of pick and choose a curated list that they can have on that's really engaging for customers in that venue, whether it's Margaritaville, Yard House. You don't necessarily want to see Wolf Blitzer or Judge Judy looking down at you when you're having a beer and a burger. So we're bringing that kind of public content. Music videos are a big part of that, but we have other stuff too, like viral videos, etc. The linear channels, we're really excited. We're just launching. Like I said, TiVo's our first partner. We're very excited. They've been a great partner. And like Chris said as well, it's learning, right? We'll know what channels are popular. We'll know what we have to adjust. We'll know if we need to put more of that original type of content and host, so to speak, current generation VJs in there. And then the third part is this, it's this app. So kind of that video, as where you can just watch your music as opposed to just listen to it.
And is this, can you talk about the business deal between you two?
No, not really. I mean, it's just, it's a good, fair, standard deal, I would say, that works for both sides.
Does it have a particular length of time to see what's going on? Is there a deadline set?
I mean, I would say it gives us enough time, for what we need to do, as Chris already alluded to, 12 to 18 months. So clearly it's going at kind of a multi-year type of thing that we're looking at. So we're excited because it takes time to build this and, see what you have. But I think so far, so good. We feel good, and then hopefully TiVo does, about kind of the initial fit.
Chris, can you tell me a little bit more about like what's coming up right away in terms of how you're going to experiment, like in the next month or two? Can you give us a hint?
So in terms of TiVo Plus tune the lineup, we've got over 140 channels today, and that's gonna both expand and change the individual channels as we see where the engagement is on the platform. But it's getting to the point, like, we've definitely been crawl, walk, run in terms of our TiVo Plus strategy and who we're partnering with and how we're bringing content onto the platform. But we're getting to the point, and this is just a vignette from my life, where as we engage with both our operator customers, which is a large part of our footprint in addition to our consumer direct business, where all of a sudden operators are looking at the quality of content coming through our TiVo Plus relationships, and their eyes are lighting up in terms of the possibilities. And they're seeing how it can complement the pay TV content that consumers are paying up to $100 a month for. And so again, you'll see us iterate, you'll see the lineup change, but the trajectory of where we're going and why we're going there are going to remain fairly consistent.
All right, sounds good. I think that you gave me a very good understanding of what's going on here and generally what the trajectory is a little bit, right? So I look forward to seeing all the changes and how you'll market it. Do you think you'll market it throughout the entire sort of, through other, like put in your own ads and things like that to drive people to that content, or is it just sort of being positioned on the platform as an app? or as a
There are a variety of different ways to drive traffic and attention to the content, and we have been employing those traffic drivers to jumpstart the engagement, and you'll see that evolve over time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get my daughter on this, see what she thinks, and I'll give you her review another time. And we'll enjoy, maybe do some karaoke, right?
Sounds fun.
The kids love, she loves it anyway. She loves it.
Let's do it.
I was just went upstairs to listen to her, and she's singing at the top of her voice while she's coding, learning how to code.
Perfect.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very, very much. Chris Thun is VP of Product at TiVo, which is, of course, TiVo.com, and Jon Niermann, who is the CEO of Loop.
TV.
Yes, TV. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And we hope you guys are safe and well and doing okay and staying out of the bad air. Take care. Congratulations.
You too, Tracy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you, Chris. Thank you.
Later, John.
I'm Tracy Swedlow. Please go to tvotshow.com/televisionation for more of all of our videos, and contact me if you'd like to be on this show. Take care.